And then someone asked me, what is your definition of success? It's a hard one. Because what I've realized, I hit certain milestones and it's never about them. You hit your financial goals, you just wake up and you go to work the next day. You do this and now I want to do another one, I want to come back tomorrow. That it's never it. It's never the finish line, so it's not really about that. So what my answer was, success for me is the process of becoming, the process of constantly growing and evolving and expanding, but we're going places we've never been. But then once we're there and once I'm here right now, it's like I've been here all along. Like this is exactly where I belong. And I want you to think about this for yourself. What does this feel like for me? How can I lead my life knowing that the season that you're in right now, you get to be successful today and you get to show up knowing wherever you've hit your milestones or not, you're in it right now. Not this delayed gratification, even though you can't see it. You get to be in that celebration. You get to be in that energy today. And the quicker, talking about law of attraction, the quicker you can energetically align to that. To completely owning who you are, your expression, where you've come from, and all those insignificant moments that may not seem so significant. And who would have thought my career in dancing would have actually impacted me to be able to stand here today, feel completely at home. That would not have happened. And people go, why would you go dancing? You have to retire when you're 25. I'd be like, because I like dancing. I'll figure it out one day. And you get to learn to make meaning out of all these things that have unfolded for you and let the evolution of life take you. And no doubt looking back at the past 5 years of your life, maybe it's looking different to what it looks like today. And the only thing that we can control right in this moment is, how am I showing up today? What do I want to be known for? How do I want to impact people? How do I want to make people feel when I'm interacting with people? What footprint do I want to leave? And I'm very clear on that. And it's also okay that we're not going to be for everyone. And that's vulnerable. That I know me standing here showing my shoulders, like I said to a couple of girls earlier, I was sent home from my job in real estate because I showed my shoulders, because they told me no one would take me seriously if you show your shoulders. So I went home and popped a blazer on. And for the first few years of running a business, I never showed my shoulders because I had the assumption if I'm beautiful or if I'm showing my shoulders, no one's going to take me seriously. And I carried that label for a long time. And I think trauma, I've deleted all of that on my Instagram. I wish I didn't because I could go back and look at it. But in every video, I pop a jacket on and I cover my shoulders because I had the belief that no one would take me seriously. And then one day I was like, enough is enough. Went on a Zoom call and I popped a shoulder to the girls. So you see these shoulders? Now I love showing my shoulders simply because I'm crushing the belief that someone told me that people actually wouldn't listen to me if I showed up in a pink dress with blonde hair and blue eyes. No one's going to take you seriously with a Swedish accent. But I chose to actually make that my superpower and make that my fullest expression. And when we get to show up in the world as the fullest expression of who we are, we attract people that value you for being that person. And they see you for that person. And I had a number of you that messaged me that were quite nervous about coming here tonight. And said, I'm not sure if I'll fit in. I don't know if I'll dress like you, look like you. And I said, that is exactly why I want you to be in that room. Because we're all different. And I want to celebrate each one of you for being different, for owning who you are and owning your expression, that what will come from that, seeing a woman standing in her absolute power, owning who she is, the fullest expression of who she is, there is nothing more magnetic about that. You can feel her without even looking at her. You can feel her. You know the woman I'm talking about? You see her, you feel her presence because she knows. It's a presence. It's just felt. It's not necessarily the loudest person in the room. She just has a knowing of who she is. And my wish is that all of you leave tonight stepping a little bit more into just owning her and where she wants to go and where she's come from. You get to own every part of her, and you get to call in people that they see you for that celebrate you for that amplify your energy because you're like that. They don't want to tone you down. They want to do the opposite. They're like, give me more. And since I started to do that, I started to call in beautiful friendships and say, give me more of you, louder. Let me celebrate you. Let me celebrate you in your bigness. Give me more. And this is why power of environment and your relationships and your friendships are absolute key. That I no longer entertain conversations if I ever feel that someone is trying to tone me down, say that I'm too much or too loud or my goals are too big. You get to be in an environment where those conversations are normalized, where those conversations are celebrated. And instead of saying, you're the unicorn of the group, I want you to go into a conversation and you have a friend saying to you, I know you can do more. Just feel that for a moment. Having a group of people and a circle like this where they have full faith in your ability. And the most important part of all, we've all experienced fear. I was speaking to the girls before and they said, we don't really like speaking, we're a bit nervous. And I said, guess what? I'm nervous too. I get nervous every time I jump on a Zoom call. I get nervous every time before I speak. I used to feel so sick before I walked onto stage. I can't do this. And then you walk out. And it's like you're at home. But fear never stopped me. And the last thing I want to share with you, I have a beautiful husband who's a veteran. And he's fought in the military over in Afghan. And I thought that I knew what fear was, but I can only imagine for someone like him. And we had a date night a couple of years ago, and I said, were you not scared? He goes, of course I was scared, my love. He goes, we were dealing with fear. I lived with fear for over 10 years. And he goes, here is the thing. If I see fear over there, and I look the other way, and I run the other way, most likely, I'm not going to make it. So I knew it was up to me to learn to maintain my own emotions and focus under high pressures and high levels of fear. And the calmer I was, the more I focused, and the closer I moved to the object was fear. He said, I knew I'll be safe. But if I freaked out and run the other way, he goes, we'll never master it. And then I did a visualization, and I made a big decision in my business. You know that decision? Sometimes when it's a financial investment and your core kind of goes, ooh, you got to pay for something, and then you kind of feel that, and you're moving through that, and you're like, should I not, am I making the right decision here? And often that's levels of fear coming up. And I closed my eyes and I did this visualization. And I had this weird vision drop into my mind where I saw this man with a big wooden door. And I stood on one side of this door, and he stood on the other side, and he was the representation of fear. And he opened up this big wooden door. He goes, when you're ready, you can step through it. And I took a big breath. And I stepped through it. And I came out on the other side completely safe. And in that moment in my mind, I knew I had mastered fear. And our ability is never to look away from fear. Fear is an indication of that we are doing something that we may be a little bit scared of. But often those things are the ones that expand us. So you may have those feelings come up, and next time you do, I want you to pause, and I want you to picture that wooden door go up, and you'll step through it. And all you need in those moments in you is you. Do I ever have doubt? I don't. And the reason why I don't doubt is because I know what I bring to the table, and I trust myself, and I've proven to myself over and over and over again that I know that I have the foundation of who I am. I know who I am, and I know how to pivot, and I have those core qualities about me. So the worst thing that can happen is that I might fall and I get back up and we do it again. And I know that all of you will share the same thing. We've all been through stuff. We've all navigated things. And you're all sitting here tonight coming to expand and grow again. You're like, I wonder what I can learn. I wonder who I can meet. I wonder what opportunity. Who can I connect with? I know that all of you came with an intention to find something or feel something this evening. Imagine being able to leave this evening with the feeling that whatever you are going to tackle next, whatever goal you have, whatever you are wanting to do, imagine carry yourself with the knowing that fear is kind. Fear is just telling you that you are growing and expanding and evolving. And the more you focus and the closer you move, you're going to be safe. You're going to be good. And it's going to feel unfamiliar. Not because it's not aligned, only because that the path you are going to take next, you just haven't been down that road before. And sometimes that will bring up a level of discomfort. And every time you feel that level of discomfort, I want you to say thank you. Thank you to my body for showing me that I'm growing and expanding. Thank you for giving me this rush of adrenaline through my body. Thank you for showing me that I've reached my threshold of expansion. You feel that threshold that I'm talking about? When you feel like you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and you're right there and you have all these feelings come up and you're like, I actually don't know if I'm good enough to do this. I don't know if I can do this, and then you do it anyway. That is you meeting yourself at your threshold. And every time we do, you're increasing that threshold, and we're increasing it, and now I'm hungry to meet those feelings. Because I know that every time I get those feelings, I say thank you, and I sit in immense gratitude for getting that little lump in your tummy, for feeling a bit sick, for going, oh, I don't know if I can do this, and then you do it anyway. And confidence is built by getting the reps in. You do something, and you do it again, you do it again, and you do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And then you're like, now this is a piece of cake. It's a walk in the park, and then you do it again. And I invite you to whatever path you're going to take next. I invite you to go on that path with absolute certainty. What would it look like if you completely took the brakes off, yet you're going to honor the season of life that you're in? But imagine if we let go the fear of judgment, the fear of not being liked, the fear of not being for everybody. What if we let go of the fear of failing and actually went for it? Show me life how good it can get. Just show me. Show me how good it gets to be. Something I share often is it gets to be this good. It gets to be so good. But that comes down to our decision to start to romanticize things in our life. And I'm a firm believer that if you can't find gratitude for where you're at right now, the universe is not going to grant us the next level. If we can sit in complete gratitude of where you are at right now, everything becomes an overflow. And us just sitting here is an overflow. Us coming together, you're all looking fabulous, and us being here right now is an overflow. And once I became obsessed with starting to romanticize every fucking area of my life changed. That every moment in my life became so fucking beautiful. And that makes me emotional because it's a fucking gift to share this moment with you all. And I get to share my vulnerability. I get to share my strengths. And I get to be me. And I want all of you to leave this evening fucking knowing who you are. Knowing who you are, and whatever seeds are planted in your soul in terms of what your vision is, it's there for a reason. It wasn't planted in there because it belonged to someone else. It's in your heart because it belongs to you. And you get to own that. And once I mastered my fear, my biggest fear is not being liked. Yet I put myself out a lot, so there's a lot of people that don't like me. And that was my biggest fear. And I thought the more I actually show up and owning who I am, the more people are actually not going to like me. And in a roundabout way, that's often how I get clients. I trigger the fuck out of them. And then they go, now I'm ready to work with you. You've triggered the fuck out of me for about 2 years now, but now I'm ready to come close to you. And that used to be my biggest fear because I wanted to be liked by everybody, but I knew the only person that was actually damaging for was me. And once I was okay to not be for everybody, I set myself free. So I know every single one of you that are here right now and every single person that I call into my life, they're there because I am the fullest and truest expression of who I am. And that's when it becomes easier to even show up online and stand here today. I know I'm here in a beautiful dress and I've had my makeup on, but I show up as me. It doesn't become a disconnect. It's simply just in a different setting and I get to show up as me. So it's actually not difficult for me to be consistent. Because I don't take time away from myself. I just get to show up and be myself and owning who I am and owning my expression. I tried to swear for so long and I'm like, fuck it, can't do it. It's just who I am. And a lot of people don't like me because I do that. And then I have other people that go, you're my person because you're like that. And it all came down to because I've simply started to own who I am. And owning the expression of my clothes, an expression of just expressing myself beyond words. And if I can wrap this close the loop on what I've just shared with you, it stems from dancing. That I could walk out on stage in the most incredible dress. And even before the music had started, I had already set the tone of what I wanted to say. And when the music came on, the lights came on, and the dancing started, it just amplified and amplified and amplified and amplified. So what story do you want to tell with the one life you know that you have? And we get to make every single day count. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.